So I wanted to share with you like a weird, funny, you know, funny as in coincidental type of story, I guess, on how my intuition works. So the woman who does my nails is originally from Vietnam. Her parents still live there, and she's 4 months pregnant. And so she decided that she wanted to go home to visit her parents before she got too far along in her pregnancy and wouldn't be able to travel. And obviously, after the baby comes, it's probably going to be a year or two before she feels comfortable traveling again. So we're sitting there talking about the flights, and they're, not counting layovers. It's 14 hours, like in the air. And as we're talking, all of a sudden, the word compression just popped into my head. And I said to her, I think you need to wear compression socks, on your trip while you're flying. You don't have to wear them, obviously, when you're there, but on your flights, you need to be wearing compression socks, I think. And she was like, well, what are compression socks? And I told her, I said, especially since you're pregnant and you're going to be sitting down for so long, you really need to consider getting them. She said, well, I have an appointment with my gynecologist on Monday to get kind of the all clear before I leave. And so Monday night, she texts me and says, you're not going to believe this, but my gynecologist said that I asked him about the compression socks, and he was like, that's such a great idea. Like, yes, you definitely need to be wearing compression socks, flying to and flying home, just to help with your circulation. And she was like, what even made you think about that? And I was like, I don't know. Like the word compression sock just went into my head. And that's how my intuition works most times. And I know I've shared other stories with you guys about my intuition. Oh, I'm showing a lot of boob. And I've shared other stories with you guys about how my intuition works. And it just comes in. It's just words that just kind of like flash into my head. Sometimes it's pictures, but almost always it just pops into my head. And I don't always know that the word that pops into my head is the actual like right word for the situation. I was doing a reading recently for somebody else, and I just kept getting something in my head, and she was younger and kind of like looking at the direction of where she wanted to take her life in terms of her career. And right now she was doing, I forget what you call it, but like the pens that have, your company name on it or whatever. I think like executive sales or something, but like more high end stuff. It wasn't just, the pens. And so I'm we're talking and stuff like this. And like, I got this impression, or what I saw was almost like a scene in my head of her sitting and just talking to somebody. And I said, have you ever thought about like going into therapy? Some kind of therapy. It doesn't have to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but a therapist. And she laughed and she was like, yeah, like I've been thinking about being a social worker. And she just graduated a year or so ago from college for her undergrad. So she would have to go back for a year or two, depending on what program she gets, to get her master's, to be able to be a social worker. And, the more we're talking about it, my whole body just started getting chills. And so two things always happen to me when I'm in a reading. One is I get really, really hot, and I also get the chills. And the more we're talking about it, my body just kept lighting up with those chills, just lighting up, lighting up, lighting up. And I was like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I gave her a couple of other suggestions on, going and talking to social workers and things like that. Social work it's tough. It's very emotional draining. It's very, very difficult for people. And I think she can do it. I know she can do it. I shouldn't say I think she can do it. I know she can do it. But still, I said, I think you need to go and talk to social workers and really understand what you're getting into, because what I do see you doing has something to do in the mental health industry. And maybe after talking to social workers, you decide that that's not where you want to go. And maybe it is, therapy, or it could be a life coach. But I see you helping other people. So anyway, I made her promise me in 6 months to just text me or email me or whatever and let me know what she ended up deciding to do, because I was like, what you're doing now is just gonna kill you. It's just not fulfilling. It's not going to be fulfilling towards you. It's not going to make you feel like you're serving your life purpose. And I don't know, I'm excited to hear what direction she goes. Anyway, I thought you guys, I can't even talk. I thought you guys would really enjoy my stories. Anyway, take care. Bye.